Good afternoon. My name is Elena Posakova. I'm a student PhD candidate of Université Paris Canton Sorbonne. And today I want to present my proposal, which titled as From Analog to Digital, Exploring Organic Forms in New Media Art, Experimental Collaborative Art Studio. This proposal is an original artistic curatorial project focused on the experience of immersion and co-creation. It presents a nature artistic space where scientific and artistic practices intertwine, bringing to life the images of digitalized metamorphic beings, living objects and images. This research serves as a living laboratory, fundamentally addressing the pressing issue of climate change, which highlighting impermanence, our vulnerability and interdependence. This project engages all participants in the discourse of sustainable development and ecology, rethinking the role of humanity in raising important questions. How is our understanding of life evolving? What responsibilities do we have towards the planet and other forms of existence? How might the world look in the near future in place of climate? All scales of transformation and also relationships with new technologies in the context of ecological change has become especially prominent following the pandemic time and appeared actively in artworks at 59th Venus Biennale, the Milk of Dreams, in 2022. The curator of this biennale, Cecilia Alemani, underscored the importance of three thematic areas: the representation of bodies and their metamorphosis, the relationship between individuals and technology, and the connection between bodies and nature. So, drawing the inspiration of the work from the artistic work showcases at that biennale, I created an experiment as an artistic curatorial work. The creative and research processes, along with the art practices, are filmed as a medium itself, organized within interdisciplinary space of like-your-own. In this context, each participant of the rich experience plays the role, creating a living space that establishes connections with the elements of the nature and cultural ecosystem of the Mediterranean coastal plain. Actually, this was grounded for several curatorial practices, which connects the creative process with context of place, considering its geographical location and natural, natural aspects. Regarding my practices, I experiment this and then I analyze practices themselves regarding the transformations occurring with this experience, and they also as well changes in social and natural environments where these practices were realized. So exactly this project illustrates how interdisciplinary art and science interaction, immersive experience, knowledge exchange, and the integration of digital technologies alongside with the traditional techniques influence the perception and redefinition of space and context, shaping the social, cultural environment. The principles of the project are built upon foundational theories of perception, which demonstrate the importance of not only visual aesthetic component, but also the cognitive processes, information, knowledge exchange, experiences in shaping our understanding of reality. This experiment has several aspects related to empirical experience. The first is a spatial immersion, meaning that the participants were in a specific geographical place as a natural part. Tactile work with forms and materials as a natural elements, knowledge production and knowledge exchange, and technical experiments regarding artistic practices. This experiment includes first, into very important one as an aspect, its integration of new technologies. Is historically this integration very much associated with the perception, and as an example from 60s work of Andy Warhol, who used new media, including film and television, to explore a new concept of time and repetition. And today, the incorporation of technologies into art practices, such as digital art installation, effectively engage viewers, who are very familiar with this language and with digital images in everyday life. Visual images became a powerful tool to involve public in interaction, and also to help artists to express their ideas and to shape their ideas as well. So particularly in this work, which I am explaining today, within the proposed context, artists combine new digital technologies like VR with analog photographic practices and another traditional techniques, creating a unique blend of interdisciplinarity, diverse experience, and transcultural collaboration. The second important aspect of this experience is work with nature in collaboration with scientists and biologists. Regarding the specific theme of biodiversity along the Mediterranean coast, which according to current observation by scientists, it's they say that today this biodiversity of this area has a serious collapse due to the effect of rising sea temperature to critical level, leading to the transformation of the ecosystem. It is already being enriched and altered, creating a new, previously unseen biodiversity by mixing and adapting them to the new climate. Artists in this project, using the various practices and techniques, started to work on biomodulation, using organic forms and life symbiosis along the coast in collaboration with biology. This format of collective work fosters a deeper understanding and interaction with the place, activating dialogue, physics, and open resources for perspective and potential interaction. So, through perceptual engagement and reflection, African scientists explore ways of interaction with the natural world, creating new connection and making sense of ecosystem. I would like to show some pictures of this experiment that finished 2 days ago. Have some where you can see images about our workshop with analog photography, sensitive paper, using natural materials, elements, seawater, the sun, light, working in laboratory with the scientists, traveling, working on the boat with the scientists, exploring research of species of Mediterranean, getting knowledge about that, working on the place. The artists and scientists, they stayed at the same place in the nature and the camping, and they were working 3 days altogether to explore, to share practices. This was a method of the work. They were invited to the specific location to explore the environment and to create a dialogue between human and non-human, expressing the experience through audiovisual images and narratives. So my method of observation and analyze the process include video recording, making notes, making interviews with artists, also communicate with viewers, visitors to have a feedback. So the project is ongoing and still in process of analyzing. So I am working on the process of making conclusion of this of the result. And the project stages are the first stage, it's a living laboratory studio, open air studio, where we were working all together. And the second stage, it's an exhibition itself, which which materialized our work in a creative installation, in the art installation, including not only artistic artworks, but also the report and the materials from scientific research, and not only scientific research, but also student researcher who wants to develop the research, and they were participating with us all these days to develop the research. And this exhibition, this installation, we decided to do as a installation which is in constant transformation, which illustrate the continuous process of change in the world and nature, activating communication between humanity and natural environment. It means that the work of artists are not produced, there are already produced artworks which will be installed, and also there are works which are installed, but they will grow in a life cycle of the exhibition, and we can also transform and or maybe modify some of the pieces to show this process of changes. So the participants of this experience, it's artists, the main group, also group of experienced scientists from our collaborative image laboratory from University Católica Valencia, and also the student researchers who were engaged in this group as participant collaborators. Also, the search group was audience. So today I want to illustrate and to show you some interview of two artists who were involved in this project. The first artist, I will share the screen. The first artist of this project, it was one of the artists of this project, it was Manuel Bafalui, artist from Valencia, and he created using the VR tool, he designed it as a sculpture, and then he produced images, photographical images of them in this environment. I would love to share the interview of him with you to better explain his artistic research.
Hi, I'm Manuel Bafalui, and I'm here to present my work, Catedrales de Barro, that took place in El Marjal de Moncofa. If you don't mind, I'm going to read a little script that I made so I can explain myself better and go straight to the point. These pieces don't pretend to be a contrast to the place, but rather to be a gesture of resonance. They are ceramic sculptures designed in virtual reality and produced with a clay 3D printer. For me, the process itself already connects two times: the primordial material of clay and the contemporary tools of digital modeling. Their forms are inspired by the instinctive architectures of animals, especially those built with earth and clay. Termite mounds, bird nests, or beehives. These structures are not just shelters. They are complex, collective environments where life organizes itself. I imagine my sculptures in that same lineage, not as ruins of a future technology, but as modest transspecies totems. They try to be material invocations that bring together animal intelligence, digital gesture, and the mineral memory of clay. When placed in the waterland, they don't impose themselves on the landscape. Instead, they hope to enter into a dialogue with it, with the slow water, the reeds, the quiet activity of insects, and the invisible cycles of migratory birds. This dialogue opens up the possibility of relationships. The sculptures become points of contact between species. Insects may climb them, moss may grow on their surface, and birds may perch for a moment. They are not finished forms, but open invitations for other organisms to inhabit, explore, and transform them. Born from a digital gesture, they expose themselves to the elements. the salty wind, the shifty light, and the resilience of an ancient ecosystem. In that exposure, they remind us that sculpture is not only a static object, but can also become an agent that helps to activate relationships. In the end, those works reflect what still pulses organically between us, even in an age where most of the transformation of the landscape are shaped by human-made machines. I hope this intervention has been interesting for you, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to share my work in this seminar. Thank you.
So the second artist I would love to show you and to show her video, it's a German artist, Alexander Knie, and her interesting experience of working with organic elements and also digital clones. Let me share.
Intervened Algae is a project exploring the transformative potential of seaweed as an artistic scientific material at the intersection of nature, art, and technology. Central to the concept is the manual intervention of algae using needle and thread. First, I collect seaweed from the Mediterranean Sea or from other beaches I have the opportunity to go, and then I modify them through textile techniques like embroidery or weaving, and reshape them into hybrid entities that exist between the natural and the synthetic. They are like living structures or species in transition. The resulting forms are digitally cloned through photogrammetry, and their original materiality is translated into new forms where the boundaries between nature and technology, craft and algorithm dissolve into one and another. So the project Intervened Algae is envisioned as an experimental field of artistic research that opens up alternative perspectives on ecological, textile, and digital processes.
So another artist also experimented interesting technique, analog technique with a sensitive photo paper using salt glass, sands, stones, lights, and experimenting analog techniques actually. We are all participating with, we are all of our group. I invited all the participants to participate, to produce, to try to explore these techniques, all these techniques, and we also try to mix all these techniques, and also we involved scientists in this process, also audience, and as a conclusion, we can say that each participant has transferred into the practice what they captured while working in the space, creating principles of interaction and using visual perceptual information and knowledge of the space, technologies and techniques to create a living and expressive images. We can say also for, we understood that the second group, the audience, were actively involved to understand the situation of the ecological situation of this area, and also emotionally they were emotionally connected with the work itself, with this experience, with this work through the art practices. The scientific group, they shared with us their feedback, saying that this experience stimulate the research to explore, to investigate new interesting terms and questions, following the artistic curiosity and new observation, we can say. So the conclusion concerning digital technologies. Digital technologies enable artists to create vibrant and interactive works that significantly influence audience perception. Engaging viewers in dialogue becomes a key aspect of this process. Continuous improvement of visual communication method fosters diversification and multidimensionality, enriching the experience of interacting with the artworks. Grounded in human sensory system, particularly visual and auditory, various digital media synergies combine sets, sounds, and tactile sensations, making information transfer more intuitive and user-friendly. Thus, new technologies and mediums, along with the direct contact with nature and active audience involvement, open new horizons for understanding and addressing pressing ecological issues through artworks. So thank you so much for your attention, and thank you for this possibility to share my experience, which is ongoing, and I'm still working on it. Thank you.